Here's Johnny.
Take your stinking paws off me.
Be quick. Be quick.
You fools, you're in danger! He's alive! He's alive! Wait, 21 gigawatts! Hallelujah! Holy shit! You gonna be this?
Jack burnt me.
Oh, pretty good to run, girly boy. Stop it!
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host, as always, Jay Schatzer. And today on the collection update, well, it's going to be really sporadic because from here on out, the horror section of the collection is just kind of all over the place. So I just kind of throw things wherever and just kind of go off of memory where they're at. So there's no really rhyme or reason, no directors kind of to clump them together. So it's just a free-for-all. So let's jump right in and see what our few crazy films are going to be. First up is a favorite of mine. It is a family-friendly horror film adventure that is on par with Goonies, and it's kind of a mashup of Goonies and Universal Monsters. With that little clue, you probably know exactly what film I'm talking about. It is Monster Squad. Now this one is awesome. It is the film that taught everyone that the Wolfman does indeed have nards. And it's just a fun flick all around. Just like I said, it's got that same feel of the Goonies and that fun spirit that the 80s brought for all kids that grew up in the 80s. If you didn't grow up in the 80s, I feel damn sorry for you, because it was a blast. But yep, this one I picked up probably sometime last year, maybe a year and a half ago, because I had to upgrade it from my DVD release. All of Films put this one out, and just an amazing film. Fred Dekkers, the director of this film, he also did what is Night of the Creeps. We're drawing a blank there. Yeah, Night of the Creeps and this one are kind of like two classics that he put together. Great cast. The child actors in the film are great. The makeup effects for the monsters, you have the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, Mummy, even the creature is in here, and they're all just stupendously put together. Great practical effects. It's just a really, really cool movie. Definitely check this one out. If for some reason you haven't heard of Monster Squad, just check it out. Stop this video right now and just put it in. If you want a good time at the movies, you will love this flick. But let's keep moving along to our next one. Now this one is a slasher flick. It should have went in my slasher collection, which is right here behind me. It should have went there, so I don't know how I misplaced this one, but it was in the pile of junk over here. And I actually picked it up recently at Walmart. They had one of these kind of VHS style copies on Blu-ray, and I've not seen this one before, so I have no opinion on the quality of it, but I know it's a classic. This one is Happy Birthday to Me. To me? But yeah, haven't got around to watch this one. I know I have it on DVD somewhere, and this is the Blu-ray version, but yeah, for some reason I just have not got around to it because there's just too many damn movies to watch, frankly. But this one looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely, this is dirt cheap at Walmart to pick up, and I know they probably still have copies out there. It was like $7 or something like that. For that price, you can't go wrong. I know I picked up another few films, even a John Candy one. John Candy's Who's Harry Crumb? Yep. Watched that one recently. I laughed my ass off. I haven't seen it since I was a kid when it first came out. Hilarious film. But this one I will have to check out, and I will report back later on the quality of it. Right now, I got nothing. Next up is a beautiful Kino Classics release. It is a classic horror film in the silent era of movies. I believe it came out in the 1930s. It is Faust. Is that how you pronounce it? If not, sue me. But this one I have not seen. I have not seen this flick. Picked it up in one of their Kino Lorber sales, and just been meaning to see it. So I was like, well, it's my chance to check it out. Owned it, and yeah, picked up the copy. I love these old 30s and 20s kind of black and white films, silent films. They all have a really good style to them, like Vampire and I can't remember the other one. Comes the name. Might be the one's next. Yes, like Nosferatu maybe. But yeah, this one looks like it's going to be a really great flick to check out. Maybe I'll even just wait until October to check it out. I'm planning on, I mean, most every horror fan does this, but on Halloween they just really overdo it on the horror films. But I've been looking for ones to kind of check out for the first time. So in October might be a good idea to pop this little guy in, check it out, and set the mood. But let's move on to the next one, another Kino Lorber release I picked up at the same time, Nosferatu. Now this one is a classic vampire film, which probably should have went in the vampire segment that I just did a few days ago, but I kind of put it aside, put it more in the kind of classic collection. But yeah, it looks like it's another great transfer from Kino Lorber, an HD mastered print from the 35mm negative. So yep, pretty much had to put this in the collection because it is just a classic film. And that's about it. Got nothing else to say. But moving on is another Kino Lorber film. This one I've not seen. I've not seen it, and I can't remember if I've heard of it ever, really. But I mean, it's got Orson Welles in it, so you think it would be something of a famous film. But yeah, I don't know much about this one, The Strangler. But yeah, a big fan of Orson Welles just because of how innovative he is. You know, he's just a famous filmmaker. Did a lot of amazing, ahead of his time kind of films. So figured I'd pick this one up. Sounded like the story was pretty cool. Deals with Nazi soldiers and things like that. So hell, why not? Pick it up. But looking forward to checking that one out for the first time. I hope the inside looks any different now. But yeah, looks like an interesting flick, and I'm always up for something new. Next up is a very interesting film that I have been meaning to watch for a very long time. Watched the film, I think a few times since I bought this, because I wanted to get a better grasp of the film. It is Tiki, The Immortal Monster. It's put out by Arrow Films. So right there, when Arrow put this film out, I was already intrigued. But then from the concept, the cover art here, and just reading the story in general, I was just enthralled and had to check it out. And it's really, really cool film. It kind of follows that more Universal Monsters flow, along the lines of The Mummy or Creature from the Black Lagoon, how people like travel to a tropical island and are besieged by some immortal kind of monster. Really, really cool stuff, black and white. It's credited of having Mario Bava did the cinematography for it, and I think he was uncredited as part of doing directorial efforts too. But yeah, really, really lush film, beautifully shot, and I mean, some parts, you know, are low budget, but it really has a nice charm to it. So definitely check this one out if you're looking for something new and for something that not a lot of people talk about. I've been meaning to do a review on it just because I like to show you guys discoveries that I've made and to see what you think about the film. So I will definitely get a review out for that one for sure, because it really is a cool flick. Definitely has a Universal Monsters black and white kind of era feel to it. Good stuff. Tiki. Alright, next up is a film that I have never watched until recently. Another one that I tackled last year. I think it was late last year. But it is Dementia 13. Definitely an interesting film. Very, very reminiscent of kind of German creamy films, thrillers, giallos in there. It's got all of those mixed into one. It's actually directed by Francis Ford Coppola, so famous director, one of his earliest films. And it's a really cool whodunit kind of thriller where a bunch of people, family, distant relatives all go to a mansion and people start dropping off. It's all about inheritance and people vying for position of who's going to get the estate and things like that. Really cool concept, a lot of cool camera work, style, visual flair to it. So yeah, check this one out for sure. I really, really enjoyed this one. and that is Dementia 13. But moving right along is to a movie that it's got mixed reviews, and it's a director that's very controversial in the first place. But out of all of Rob Zombie's films, for some reason I would say this one is my favorite, and I don't know if it's because the subject matter and the location that it was shot in, because I visited the location a few times before this film was made, and kind of had a kinship with seeing familiar locations and just the feel of the town. But the movie I'm talking about is The Lords of Salem. And I really love this movie, and there's a lot of reasons I loved it. It's because it had a lot of tone and feel of kind of a Italian kind of film from the early 80s, like a Lucio Fulci directed film or a Dario Argento directed film. It was more artistically driven, so many crazy, vibrant visuals, and Sherry Moon Zombie, who's Rob Zombie's wife, who's been in pretty much every one of his films, is actually good in this film. In every other film she's appeared in of his, she has been the most annoying character on the face of the earth. This one, she has a little bit of that hipster annoyance kind of stuff, but she's really grounded, down to earth, and you really sympathize with her character and the things that she's going through. But yeah, like I said before, the location, Salem, Massachusetts, is where they shot it, hence The Lords of Salem. Kind of is about witches from Salem coming back to exact their revenge, and they kind of need a host or somebody to bring them back into the world, and that's where Sherry Moon Zombie's DJ character comes into. And yeah, I just love seeing the locations that I've spent time there. I've been at a bed and breakfast. I've been there a few times, once on Halloween during college for a Salem, Massachusetts trip, because I had I had a class to deal with witchcraft. So it was kind of interesting to be down there for that. And then I went down there once for a family trip. But really, really cool film. I just love it because of those connections I've mentioned. So, and just the style in general. So maybe some people didn't like it and didn't kind of take to that kind of style, but I just ate it up and loved it. One of my favorites of Rob Zombie's. And I don't like his Halloween films at all. I liked House of a Thousand Corpses. Devil's Rejects I'll have to revisit because I don't really get why everyone's praising that movie. But hey, maybe I was just not in the right mindset when I saw it. But let's keep moving along. Spent way too much time on that one flick. Let's move on to the Omen collection. That damn Damien and his devilish ways. What is he up to next? But this one has got, I believe there's 4 films. It's got part 1, 2, and 3, and then the remake that came out, I don't even remember when that remake came out, in 2006? God, that was forever ago. Wasn't a bad remake, but yeah. Kind of forgettable, I guess. But this got the entire collection on it. It was dirt cheap when I picked this up. I think it was at Best Buy some 2 years ago, maybe. Really, really cool collection. Great films. The first one, of course, is a classic. Second one is interesting enough. Third one is really cool, how it's a grown-up Damien and he's like a political power, and just an interesting take on the Omen series. Really cool stuff. Can't go wrong with a little Damien. But let's keep moving along. Damn, I am thirsty. Shit, I need a drink. Let's keep moving along. I have 3 more flicks and we're gonna end with a bang. A movie I actually just got in the mail today and watched it. It's a classic that I love, I absolutely love, but I watched it just a few seconds ago and then came up here to do these videos. But let's move on to this one. Fascination. I'm just fascinated by this film. It is just a beautifully, beautifully crafted gothic fantasy kind of vampire. I don't even know how to describe it. Just a weird, sadistic flavor by Gene Roland. I love Gene Roland's flicks. I know a few of you people mentioned that he's not your cup of tea. I can see it. I can see how Gene Roland's flicks are not anyone's cup of tea. But for some reason, I just love the dreamlike quality of it, and it may be pretentious at some points. He may rely too much on the female nude form to kind of shock his audiences, I guess. But there's just something strange about these films. This one is no exception, and I have to watch this one again because it has been a long time since I I saw it, I can't remember if I got it on Netflix years ago when the service started, just to check it out, and saw it, and just, you know, yeah, it was interesting, but definitely have to revisit it. There's a lot of Gene Roland flicks I got rolling around here that I haven't checked out in a while that I want to revisit. But yep, interesting as hell. Definitely has some memorable imagery in it, as you can see with the beautiful woman coming at you with a sickle. But great flick in general. Definitely check it out if you like kind of those weird, foreign, dreamlike flicks. But up next is a film I recently reviewed, probably 2 months ago, I believe. And it is Who Can Kill a Child? I mean, honestly, who? Who would do such a thing? But this is a fabulous Mondo Macabro, Mondo Macabro Blu-ray release. Beautiful transfer, and just a great film in general. As you can see from the review that I did a few months ago, that it really is just it's a simple story. Not a lot of big things happen. Kind of takes its time, but it really has a great atmosphere to it. And then when the action or just moments do kick in, it really just packs a punch and is unsettling. Especially the subject matter, you know, crazy children and having to kill them. For some reason, I feel this film tackles the concept better than Children of the Corn does. I don't know why, I've never really been that big into Children of the Corn, but this one, Who Can Kill a Child? Great stuff. Great stuff indeed. I'll probably revisit Children of the Corn soon, just because I don't know, it's that redheaded kid. He just bugs the shit out of me in that movie. But let's move on to the next one. And this is the one I was talking about that I just watched recently. Love the hell out of it, and it actually has a bonus feature on here of another film that I actually watched a couple days ago for the first time and loved the hell out of it. And I said, shit, I gotta pick up this Grindhouse releasing Blu-ray because it's got 2 damn good films on it, a bunch of extras, and it's just a kick-ass flick in general. And that is I Drink Your Blood. Just a badass flick. And on the back it says it is a combination of Night of the Living Dead meets Charlie Manson, which is a perfect way to describe this flick. It centers around a group of hippie dickheads who go to this village of 40 people and just start raising hell. They're Satan worshippers, and they just go around just raping people and just being assholes. They go too far, and this little kid shoots a rabid dog, takes the dog's rabid blood, puts it into meat pies, and serves it to these hippies, who then turn rabid and go on a killing spree and just infect the town, and people just start going crazy. It's just nuts. Amazing film. The first time I saw this film was on the big screen at Cinema Wasteland at the Strongsville, Ohio horror convention, and saw they had a print of it or something and were showing it, and I was like, what the hell is this film? I was watching, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And I've been a fan of it ever since, and they actually have a reunion coming up this April, I believe, of some of the cast of I Drink Your Blood. So maybe I'll stop by and check them out. But flick is amazing, and the bonus feature that it has on it that really made me just want to go out and buy it was the I Eat Your Skin, a 1964 film, kind of a voodoo tropical island kind of flick in black and white. Really fun, really cool, cheesy in parts. It almost starts out like a Euro spy, like the main guy is just a kind of playboy writer who's got all these chicks around him, and he's kind of just it starts off funny and adventurous like that, and ends up on a voodoo island. So it's really cool. So it's great to have that one on, because I guess the big thing is that was one of the main double features. It was I Drink Your Blood and I Eat Your Skin double feature back in the day when it first came out. So it's cool to have that in here. And the transfer on that film was great too. So I watched both of them, loved them. Definitely pick out this Grindhouse releasing edition. It is for any lover of the film, and just any lover in cult flicks in general. Definitely pick it up. It's probably one of my favorite releases I picked up in the past few years. But guys, I have a dry mouth, and I am done with today's collection episode. So, hope you like that randomness. We have a shitload of more randomness stuff to go. And that's just in horror movies in general. I still haven't even tackled just action, sci-fi. What else we got here? I have a whole Godzilla collection. So it's just anime, it's all over the place. So we have a long hike to go to get through all of these things and to get all these shelves filled. And I probably have to make more shelves over here and here once the whole room's completely done. So guys, that is it for me today. So hopefully you found some cool gems here, some maybe cool additions that you should pick up for yourself, like this sweet baby. But yep, that is it. So take care, stay out of trouble, and I will see you at the next video that I put up on this channel. What will I think of next? Take care, guys. See ya.